Hello, today I review 3 LTec Premium strings that I've extensively played during these past 6 months or so. First I start with the Celeste 120 gauge and 125 gauge. I've played 120 gauge with Diadem Elevate that has a semi-open 16 by 20 string pattern, and the 125 gauge I played with the Technifiber TF40 16 by 90. The Celeste 120 with the Diadem Elevate had a very large sweet spot for this racket size, maybe the largest sweet spot I've experienced so far. This offered added comfort on slight mishits, especially towards the side of the hoop. Power delivery was easy to find, not too much power but not too low. I'd say that somewhere in between, which I always like, so I could take fast swings without fear of overheating. But at the same time not too low so I couldn't defend. On this semi-open string pattern, this thin gauge offered some very good access to toe spin, especially when I was hitting cross-court forehands on the run. Strung at low 20s, I think that what separates this string from others is that it offered a very good blend of comfort and control. It had a lower launch angle, which I always like. That means I could hit flat without overshooting some balls that I usually do when I play first time with thin strings with this racket. Because with thin gauge I could add some topspin and lift the ball over the net without any problems. I could find some short angles towards the sidelines. I only focus on what I feel from the string bed, and this one held the playability very nice. I could easily have it on my racket for at least 1 month, playing 2 times a week, 1.5 hour sets with no issues. The Celeste 125 gauge was slightly a different story on the Technifiber TF40. It was slightly stiffer at first, which I think is to be expected because it's a thicker gauge and the racket itself is stiffer than the Elevate. This one felt better, especially on flat hitting, which I really like hitting with the Technifiber TF40, both forehand side and backhand side, especially the one-handed backhand. My TF40 was overly under-spec'd, so I lacked some easy access to power when playing defense. With customization, this could be solved. But the string itself played very well. I'm very satisfied with the Celeste, and it's now on my top 10 easily. Next is the green Meteor 130 gauge. This one is something between a thick multifilament and a very soft polyester, round set of course. I'm always taking a soft polyester full bed over full bed of multifilament. I've played the green Meteor 130 with 2 rackets, the Diadem Elevate and the Diadem Nova. With the Diadem Elevate I strung it a bit too high at 23-24 kilos, and it was a so-so experience. But when I strung it up on the Diadem Nova very recently, it was a completely different story because I strung it at low 20s to simulate a beginner experience as an alternative to multifilament. This one was a very nice experience for me, especially during the warm-ups or cooling down ground strokes after playing a few sets. It had a very nice dwell time, very easy access to power, high levels of comfort. Feel of being on control was very good until the pace picked up drastically. I mean, during one set I picked up the racket to play 3 games. I had some issues controlling the depth of the ball. But this one feels a very nice option for beginners who want to transition from multifilaments to a soft polyester option. Next is Meteor Pro 120 and 125 gauge. This one is number 1 on my top 10 list for the main reason that it has played excellent on a various range of circumstances. Playing with beginners, playing ground strokes for warming up or cooling down, playing several sets, playing tournament matches, playing friendly matches. The 125 gauge I played with the Diadem Elevated V3 that also has a 16 by 20 string pattern. This one is slightly more open, so it had already some extra pop. The overall feel from the baseline was excellent on flat hitting. Also from the mid-chord, the oxpin was just enough to lift the ball over the net and find some short angles to hold the sides. I'm very satisfied with this string. I have more sets to play with, and I always come back to it after playing some other strings. In my experience, some strings play very well in certain circumstances, like certain levels of intensity of hitting, but this one played very well in all areas of my game, and regardless of how fast were the incoming balls from my partners. Some of them are beginners, some are much more advanced than me. I had no issues controlling the pace, of course when I hit the ball right. I highly recommend as an introduction to the brand, try the Celeste 120 gauge, and if you can't get a second string, I highly recommend my top string right now, the Meteor Pro. So that's it for now, and we'll see you in the next review.